Hey guys, welcome back to the Homestead Adventure. Today I want to share with you why I raise meat rabbits. Now when I tell people that I raise rabbits for meat, a lot of people just gasp and they're like, what? You actually kill rabbits? You eat rabbits? And I try to explain it to them, and I feel like a lot of people just don't understand it because rabbits today are most widely used as pets. Rabbits are looked at as pets. They're cute and cuddly, and so we don't associate rabbit with meat. But not that long ago, rabbit was one of the most common meats on your dinner table back in the 40s and 50s and before that. And even in other countries today, a lot of other countries still eat rabbit as one of the most common meats, just like you would find goat in other countries. It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing to eat, it's just we don't eat it as much over here. So it's not very common, and I'm going to explain to you why I raise the meat rabbits and why I think it should be more commonly used as meat. So one of the main reasons is rabbits have the most digestible protein than any other meat. Not just protein, but the most digestible. So it's very, very high in protein. And not only is it high in protein, but it's also very low in calories, low in cholesterol, and low in sodium. So you're getting a very, very healthy, very lean meat from rabbits. It's also very low in fat. Rabbits are also the most productive livestock than pretty much any other livestock that you can raise while being raised in a very small space. You do not need a lot of space to produce a lot of meat from rabbits. For example, one rabbit alone can produce 320 pounds of meat per year. So if you just have a breeding trio, one buck and two does, you can fill your entire freezer of meat for the year for your family in just a very small space. Even if you only have a city lot, you can still raise all of this meat for your family with just a few rabbits. Now, if you have a larger space, a larger rabbitry, you can sell your rabbit meat as well. However, you do need to look into licensing and who your target market is and all of that stuff before you do it. But rabbit is sold for, you can sell it for $7 to $10 a pound for rabbit meat. The meat to bone ratio in rabbits is also a lot lower than a lot of other animals. So you're getting a lot more meat compared to the amount of bone on the animal. Rabbits also eat a lot less food per pound than most other animals that are raised for meat. So it's a lot cheaper to raise rabbits than it is for most other meat animals. So not only are you getting a lot more meat, you're getting it for a lot cheaper. So like I said, one rabbit can raise 320 pounds of meat per year. Now, the reason for that being is the rabbit's gestation period is about 28 to 31 days. So you can keep breeding your rabbit and she'll have anywhere from 6 to 12 kits per litter. A kit is a baby rabbit. And I butcher my rabbits at about 18 weeks. But you can butcher them a lot sooner than that. The reason I wait till 18 weeks is because I save the hides as well. And they're not going to be good pelts earlier than that because they're just going to be a little too soft and they're going to rip a lot easier. So you can even butcher at 12 weeks is what a lot of people do for a 5-pound fryer for your larger breeds. So with the short time that you're from birth to butcher, you get a lot of meat faster, and you, like I said, you can keep breeding the doe, so she's gonna keep producing and keep producing. I also make things from the pelts, so I'm going to be making hats, gloves, coin purses, throw pillows. I make rabbit foot keychains. I've already done some of those and sold those, and they sold out really fast. So rabbits are very versatile. There's very little waste on the rabbit, which is another thing. So I have butchered chickens in the past as well. Chickens are messy, they're stinky, the whole process is disgusting. But butchering your rabbits, it's very easy, very clean, and very little waste. You can use the rabbit ears for dog treats. You can dehydrate those and feed them to your dogs. They love them. You can also use the kidneys, heart, and the liver for treats as well, even cat treats. You can dehydrate them and give them to them as treats. So that's another thing that doesn't go to waste on the rabbit. You can also use the bones for bone broth. So that's another thing that doesn't go to waste on the rabbit. So let's talk about environmental impact. Some people will say that raising meat is harmful to the environment. But if you're talking about these large, the slaughter yards and the factory farming, yes, that is harmful to the environment because of all the animals that they need to raise and all of that extra waste that they have nowhere to put. They're spraying that on the crops. They have to raise so much food for the animals. So like all of these GMO corn crops that are sprayed with pesticides because they need so much of it, they can't just go off and pick the bugs off. They need to just spray them. The animals are pumped full of antibiotics and hormones to grow faster. So those are problems with large slaughter yards and factory raised animals. But if you're raising animals in your own backyard, not only are you one less person who has to rely on somebody else to raise your food, you are creating more food for the world by creating food for yourself. You're one less person going to the store and buying chicken. You're one less person that is benefiting from factory raised animals. So yes, I do believe that the meat industry is harmful to the environment. You're growing healthier food for yourself because you're not pumping them full of hormones and you're not feeding them foods that are full of pesticides and all of that stuff if you're growing your own. And not only the meat aspect of it, but rabbit manure is garden gold. It is not a hot manure, so it doesn't have to be aged before you can use it. You can spread it right on your garden. And it is so beneficial to the soil. It adds so many nutrients to it. And if you have a rabbit tractor, which I use for my grow outs means your meat rabbits that are not full grown yet. A rabbit tractor is basically a long cage without a bottom to it. So you can just lay the tractor on the ground and put the rabbits inside and they can eat the grass. So they're mowing your grass for you and they're also fertilizing your lawn with their manure. So raising rabbits is actually good for your environment. So rabbit meat tastes very similar to chicken, although it's kind of a little bit softer than chicken. And since it's very low in fat and sodium, it does need to be cooked low and slow. Otherwise, it can be very tough. But you can cook it like you would chicken or even pork. Like you can make rabbit sausage. I make rabbit jerky. I slow cook it with some barbecue sauce and a little bit of water. You can just slow cook it in some broth. It's very good as a stew. They're so versatile. You can do it so many different ways. So that's another thing. It is delicious. Like I said, it's a white meat. It tastes a lot like chicken, and you get a lot of meat for just one rabbit. One rabbit will easily feed a family of 4. The last thing is the reason why most people are iffy about eating rabbit or raising rabbits to slaughter is the cuteness factor. Rabbits are cute. They're fluffy, they're adorable. And like I said, they have been raised as pets for a while now. So that is where people have the issue with rabbit meat. But all animals are cute. All animals, like if you come to a farm and you see the little baby pigs and the fluffy chicks and the little calves and little goats, all of them are cute. That's just the way life is. And it's very hard for some people to separate the emotion from the food. If you're looking at your food like in the face, you're like, I can't kill you, you're so adorable. It's never fun to kill an animal. I look at it as I will always eat meat. I believe that we as omnivores need to eat meat to thrive. We don't need it to survive, but I do believe that a balanced diet is needed for us to thrive. I have nothing against veganism or vegetarianism, but I don't believe that it's for everybody, and I don't believe that everybody should be vegan or vegetarian. So for me, I raise my own meat because I can. I raise it because I'm always going to eat meat, and if I have the land and I have the ability to do this, I think it's my responsibility to do it, because there are just too many large factories out there, and we need to cut that out. We need to get back to our roots and remember that we are part of nature. We are part of this food chain, and that is why I raise rabbits. So in conclusion, rabbit meat is the healthiest meat. It is the lowest in sodium, fat, cholesterol, and calories, but the highest in protein than basically any other meat. They are the easiest meat to raise. They're one of the cleanest animals with the least diseases that you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about salmonella in raw meat. Rabbits have very little health issues. You don't have to worry about that as much as you would with, like, say, your chickens and your cows. They are good for the environment. They're very versatile in cooking. You can cook them any way you like. The manure is garden gold. They can be raised in small spaces. You don't need a lot of land to raise a lot of meat from rabbits. They're very easy to butcher. It's quick. It's not as messy as, like, say, you're butchering a chicken, and definitely a lot easier than butchering your pigs or your cows. You also get the pelts as well. So if you love crafting, it's a really soft pelt, and it's wonderful for so many different things and will keep you really warm in the winter. And you can make pet treats out of a lot of the waste. So there's very little waste on the rabbit. So those are all of the reasons why I choose to raise rabbit meat. And I hope this answers your questions on whether you should do it or not. And thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you on the next adventure. Bye.